Welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Neighbours. You know, some people build businesses, some people build communities, and some people build something they once needed themselves. Today's conversation is with Abbie, founder of Dare to Rise, a movement built around one belief that no one should have to navigate life's hardest moments alone. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, before we get into Dare to Rise, let's take me back a little bit. What did life look like before Dare to Rise?
How far do you want me to start?
Wherever you want to start.
So I will start a little bit earlier when I came to this country, when I was around 13 years old. And when I came here, it was something that, to me, resilience, community was nothing that I learned. It was just something, it was part of my life. And when I came here, we came as the first generation. I'm East African, and knowing few different languages, it was something that I got put in the front because I spoke different languages. So I had to help my community without knowing what I was doing. I was just a 13-year-old kid doing what I've been told to do. And I watched my grandmother, my mom, my aunts just helping people and being that village of community. So for me, getting older later in life in this country, became my country, it was easy. Just, oh, you're resilient. Oh, you're community. And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yes.
Because to me, it was something just natural in me, in my culture, in my family, and the way we help each other.
Yeah, you're born and brought up with resilience. It's and then someone comes and puts the term on top of you without you even realizing. They're like, "Oh, what do you mean? This is just natural." Yeah.
So years later happened. I went to school. Life happened, and I always been in that community, helping. But I never thought I was able to do that as a career, and that at the time. And then I started doing beauty, fashion, because people told me, oh, you can do this. And I just fell in love with the art of makeup and fashion. So I traveled the world doing that. But helping was always been just natural for me. If I see something that was wrong, I would speak up. So later I became a parent, life happened, and I became a single mom.
Yep.
And I think that's how I call the real life happen, when you have to work. And
yeah, like when you became a single mom, like what were some of the hardest moments of going through that journey? Obviously, it's very tough, but I guess your resilience truly gets tested then.
Again, the reason why I call Dare to Rise, it takes a village. We are the village. If I didn't have my parents and my family, I would not be here talking to you right now. Because being a single mom, if I didn't able to have a free babysitter, because I call my mom free babysitter, God bless her. Because the kind of job I was working at the time is that we have to finish at 4 to pick up the child from school, daycare. It cannot go later than 6. So to me, having that help with my parents helped me a lot. So I woke up, I realized that women in our society, we've been told you can have it all. That's a lie. Whoever told us that was not telling us the truth. So for me, being a single mom, realized that, oh my God, I'm alone on this world to do everything for these kids.
Yeah.
But I had to turn to my community and my parents.
And so through the journey and everything, where does the idea, the seed for Dare to Rise start to come up? Obviously, before we're here and it's out in the world, right? The idea starts to percolate.
I had that business plan years and years ago, but because I'm going to be honest, even though I'm a strong woman, I did a lot of things, went through a lot of things, I didn't believe I was capable of. And about 2.5 years ago, something very personal happened to me. I was going through a divorce again, and I was going through a whole process, and I'm working at this organization that the contract ended. And I was sitting in my house, and I was like, I don't like to cry over things. And I'm the kind of person like, okay, something happened to you. What can you do with this? What did you learn from this? So I was sitting down, and I'm like, okay, what can I do? I'm always thinking outside the box, because I never been, if you know my life, I don't do line thing. And I was like, what can I do? And then it just came, you know what? I am capable. I'm worth it. And I have a voice. And it wasn't really trying to help somebody else. It was more for me to make sense of everything that happened to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I woke up. I'm like, people really think that I'm doing this for somebody. I'm like, no, this is for me to make sense. So that's when it happened.
That's how some of the greatest things get built, right? You're doing something for yourself, and then you find a community of people that need it as well too, or want to be a part of it, or just touches them in a certain way. So someone that's listening or watching this, what is Dare to Rise and what does it do?
Dare to Rise is going to be 1 year old this month, April 29th. So the first year, we really just wanted to build the name and making sure the community knows who we are. What we do exactly is from knowing a single mom who's thinking to leave, just whatever the case, the first initiative. And that's legal, life coaching to their youth. Because I think a lot of us people don't forget that, yes, there's a single mom, but there's children affected by that.
Yeah.
So the way we are in our organization is really helping that woman, or just information first, because sometimes before you leave, it takes a year, 2 years, because we have to go through that process in our mental.
Yeah. So we'll break down each pillar. So I think this is good. So legal navigation, kind of that first one, right? Because, someone going through this experience, it's brand new. They don't know like how long it's going to take, what it's going to take, and navigating that world. So the legal navigation is kind of pillar number one of this. That's
huge for me, because I want to explain that a lot of women cannot afford a lawyer. So the legal aid part, you go to the New Market Court, right? And then you go to the family court, and they give you a whole pamphlet of lawyers, and they give it to you. Go home, figure out. You have 3 or 4 times to change, but you can't.
Yeah.
You don't know. So that's what one of the services, because I've been that woman who didn't know, who had to go through 2 lawyers on that.
And then we get into pillar number 2, which is like mental health and well-being. Because again, now this is kind of a traumatic situation, a big situation, a life-changing one. And there's a big ripple effect that comes with it. So this is pillar number 2, the mental health and well-being.
We have life coaches. We have therapists. We have... And I don't want to use the mental health a right away word. It's more for us is having the community around that woman, that person.
Support system. Yeah.
And it's not one-time service. It's a whole year, 2 years. As long as they need us, we're there for them.
Yeah.
And again, the legal, I'm going to go back to that legal thing. It's going with them too.
Yeah.
That support, that's where we're different. We're going to be the emotional support from A to B to C all the way for a year, 2 years. Because I needed that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love this one, the creative expression pillar of it. Please tell me more. Like, I have an idea as why it's important, but I think hearing it from you would be.
As a woman and as a mother and as a wife and as someone who go through we forget that creativity of us. And sometimes you don't even realize that just doing an art or makeup or something just without thinking makes you feel yourself again. So I love to give the space for women or people, youth even, to go through a space that they don't have to think about anything else, but just get out of their mind and just be themselves again. And I think we always have to remember that 5-year-old, that 6-year-old, that 13-year-old young boy or young girl that we are. And I think that's so extremely important to me, because without art, I will not be here with you.
Yeah, it's like during whatever that situation is, there's a lot going on around you, right? And finding that time and space to just be mindful and, feel good by being creative, whether that's just drawing or coloring or doing makeup, whatever that may be, giving the individual the time and space to be able to do that.
Yes.
Right. And then community empowerment being pillar number 4, where you're teaching financial literacy, entrepreneurship. And this is kind of setting up for the long term, for the next chapter in their life, I believe, right? And giving them the tools and community around it.
It's all women-led. We do have men who's going to come in with their boys because they're youth. I want to make sure that, but it's all women-led. So I have all this, there's smarter women than me. So I put around women who's smarter than me, particularly with life coaching, lawyers, doctors, and money. Because to me, if you don't know money as a woman, that's where we stay in relationships, in marriages. Because when the first thing I learned over the years and just talking to women, I wish I can leave. But I didn't work for 10 years. I didn't work for 15 years. He managed the money. I don't know where to go. And that's the main thing to us. It's like, we may love our husbands, and I love love. I believe in marriage, but I think education is power. Knowledge is power, especially for younger and a woman. Yeah,
for sure. It's good to have those, develop those skills and awareness, even kind of being step 1, awareness of the financial literacy part is so key, because, we live in a Western civilization, and the world runs around it. You need to know how it works and how to manage it and how to spend it and how to grow it, all those things. A common theme is you talk about kind of the village, right?
Yeah.
You've mentioned it a few times, and it feels like even as we go through those pillars, it's like creating a village to help be the support system. So what does the village mean to you?
Everything. Again, I'm going to talk about a little bit about the different culture. For someone who's from East Africa and coming here, everything about in the Western world, doesn't matter where, is alone.
Yeah.
You grow, you leave the house, you by yourself. Who said that we have to be everything alone? The system is not made for us to be alone. And for me, the idea of daycare and we're paying money. Why are we? Certain cultures, you can see that we still live at home together, and that's what my culture is. So to me, watching my grandmother, who always been that kind of woman, was like bringing the kids and her grandkids along, the neighbors and everybody. So I miss that. It's everything about what I feel I needed, because that village, people live longer when you're with community. And I think this idea that your problem is yours and my problem is no, you need to know your neighbors, get to build that village. And I think that kind of personality I always been. So I love my neighbors. I know by names. I know their husbands. I know their children's name. And I know if something happened to me, I can give them a call and say, hey, can you pick up my son? So that's the idea of the village, to make sure that we don't judge, that we're there for you. Because sometimes a person just needs to vent without you having an opinion. And I think that's the village idea. And I'm very strongly passionate about this idea of building the village. Doesn't matter, don't care about Dare to Rise, but I always recommend for people and push people and encourage people to find your village, find your people, because we're not meant to be alone in this earth.
Yeah, it's so true. And, as the world seemingly has connected us all more with like the internet, and we're connected through smartphones at all times and access to the world's information, like the counter has happened where people have never felt more alone, right? And more insular and like in their own kind of worlds, where all the things that you mentioned are so important for a happy and fulfilling life and a supportive life. And as well too, once you experience the village or being part of a community and having that, like, it's so much more fulfilling and enjoyable and supportive, and you have a different feeling of ability. Yeah. So through the experience, right, you have your own that is lived, right? And then working with some people throughout this first year, obviously it's still early in Dare to Rise, but is there any impact stories that you could share? You don't have to share any names or anything, or just seeing someone going from struggling and kind of scared and alone to, having this feeling and, standing strong.
Everything I do, and I don't know if people are honest with themselves because I'm very blank, it's really watching women scared, reminding me of where I was and talking to them, and just because they see you, this personality on social media, because the way I post and the way I am. And then when I go to these women and I say, I was exactly where you were today. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, trust me, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So there is few stories. I have a most amazing woman who, I don't know how she found me. I kind of have an idea. She just texts me and say, hey, I need A, B, C, D, diapers and stuff like that. And at that time it was early. And I'm like, okay, I couldn't even say no, because I knew how that felt too, not having that diapers or that milk. So I just had my village, again, having the community you built. I called a few people, then less than 5 minutes, I got money on my account. I went to the bank, to the shoppers in Walmart and got the stuff I needed. So there's a lot of, I do 101 right now. And people, I've been told I have to say no sometimes. I don't know how to say no. But there is few Christmas. We partnership with our organization who knew who I was before, what I do before. And we helped 50 families with toys, and especially teenagers, because a lot of people forget teenagers. So we got a lot of gift cards. And to my mostly more beautiful thing is just the support, the mental support that people can talk to me And so I have a young lady who has 4 kids, 28 years old, who had dealt with the police and her partner. So I was just physically there, and just the emotional part. So there's surprisingly, we helped for such a shorter time.
Yeah.
We didn't do a lot of workshops or anything, but this year we have a very amazing plan and things coming up.
Yeah. So what is, as you look into the future of building this up, right? So over the next year, the next 5 years, give me the kind of roadmap that you wish to expand in. Like, obviously, everything good starts kind of small in one area, but once you kind of figured that out, you can duplicate it in many other communities.
I'm a turtle, so I get there. Anyone who knows me knows that. So the big plan is right now is York region, even though we register across Canada because I speak French.
Yep.
And so we're going to do York region and this format from Keswick all the way to Vaughan, Markham. And right now we're building what I know most because it will be between Keswick, Newmarket, or Markham. That's where I grew up and that's my community is. So the next 5 years is, there's certain things I don't want to share yet because it's early stages, but the dream is to partner. Right now we're partnership with a lot of known organizations, women and youth. So my organization is more helping what they have and bringing this niche that is not there yet.
Yeah.
We're helping with workshops with, for me, a lot of the way you feel start from the outside sometime.
Yep.
So to be that service, because I have a team with that. So we're working with different organizations to help young ladies and women to go back to work. Mm-hmm. So the next 5 years, I see us having a location. I see myself be global. Mm-hmm. I see ourselves to build more women in the organization and men, because as much this is a single mom niche that we're helping, that we're doing the service, I really feel I love women, I love young girls, but I want to help. I have 2 boys.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of service with girls. And I think we're forgetting the boys a little bit. Mm-hmm. And again, there's so much behaviors that we're teaching our young girls. Don't do this, be careful, that we're not teaching our boys. Just don't do that. Yeah. So to me, there's going to be a huge concentration on single moms, but helping their youth, which is boys often, because we don't have the time. And I say we, because I'm part of that world. We don't have the time to teach our boys what a man's supposed to be. Yeah. And I think they need from a man. Yeah. And I'm very passionate because I want this cycle to break. Yeah. And I'm tired of telling young girls, behave or be careful, or so. And then we don't tell our boys that way. So I think to give them space. Yeah. And that's my next 5 years to really. Yeah, for sure. I love that. And just continue to build the awareness, and then the impact will follow too. And I love that you're going to add in that kind of the thinking of the young boys too, and building that into the fabric of everything that you're building too, because of everything that you just mentioned. It's like, how do you break the cycles? It's with the youth, right? So, okay, let's go into a quick rapid fire here before we close up. What's one thing people misunderstand about community? Control. They think that we have this, that we're different, that because we're such a multicultural country that we're so different, but we're not that different. We just want to be loved. We just want to pay our mortgage. Yeah. We just want to be taken care of. We just want to be seen. Yeah. So I think there's more alike than we're different. Yeah, absolutely. What's one thing every family needs more of? Time. Community, time, less on phones and social media. Yeah. More presence. Yeah. I like that. I have a 15-month-old boy, right? And it's never shifted time more in my life of like, wow, it's so fleeting and disappearing. And if you're not present, it will, you'll wake up and it will all be gone. We need everything we're building and we're working for, but family time, presence can never. Yeah. Advice to someone struggling silently right now. you're not alone. Because I think to me, that was the only trap I was in, because we think it's just us. We're not that unique. There's more of us like out there. So speak up, and you'll be surprised how many people are going through, and you may even give someone else the voice to speak up.
Yeah. And what does rising mean to you personally?
That's weird. That's why it's named to rise. Rising is defying the situation I was in. Rising regardless of the pain. Rising regardless of the moment I'm in. Doesn't define who I am. So I would love to push every human out there to rise above where they are today and just take a baby step.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. We will put all the information for Dare to Rise in the show notes so everyone can connect with you and learn more. And thank you for what you're building and for reminding us that no one needs to do it alone.